Okay, hi Danny. Welcome to lesson number 83. And today's lesson is going to be super fun because we are going to learn about taxes. Taxes? Really? Really, Mom? Taxes? Oh, yeah. Sales tax. And once you figure out your sales tax, then you can figure out how much something really costs. And then once you know that, you can figure out how much change you should get back after you pay for something. So that is super important to know. But first, I am going to let you have 5 minutes of time to do your 90 division facts. Okay, so let's see. Let me get the timer out. And where's my timer? Oh, here it is. Okay, reset. Are you ready? Ready, set, go. Let's see. I will try and find some relaxing music. If you hear some music in the background, that's actually you playing VR. Okay, let's see. Wow, someone is really good at playing the piano, aren't they? Okay, I think it's going to go to another song. Maybe. Do you want to say hi to future Danny?
It should be focusing and it's hard to focus if I'm talking.
Oh,
So.
sorry. Okay. Okay, Danny, I'm going to stop it right there. That was 5 minutes, so write down your time. If you didn't finish, that's okay. All right, so here we go. We are going to start into this lesson about taxes. Some people think I should teach you about taxes by eating 30% of your ice cream, right? So I would just take a chunk out of it like that. And that's kind of like taxes. Not exactly very fair, right? Okay, this is why you need to pay attention to this lesson. Otherwise, you're going to be this dude. And he is buying a book. It looks like it's Math for Dummies. And this lady is saying 2 Math for Dummies at $16.99 each. That'll be $50. I don't think so. And he might just fall for it because if he's buying a book called Math for Dummies, he might really need to learn more about math, right? All right, so that's why you should pay attention to this lesson. Let's start with mental math. Okay, so for mental math, there's some instructions this time, so I hope you didn't jump ahead and just do it. We're going to be counting by 5s, starting from the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And when you do that, you're going to find out that there are different patterns in the digits that come at the end, or the final digits. So for example, if you start counting by 5s, you get 5, 10, 15, 20, and that's this group. All of the numbers end in 5 or in 0. But what if you start with the number 1, and then you start with 1, add 5 to that, you get 6, add 5 to that, you get 11, add 5 to that, you get 16, and all the numbers end with either 1 or 6. That's a cool pattern, right? What if you start with the number 2? 2, if you add 5 to that, you get 7. If you add 5 to that, you get 12. If you add 5 to that, you get 17. All the numbers are going to end with 2 or 7. Pretty sweet, huh? So I think you get it. If you start with 3, if you add 5 to that, you'll get 8, then 13, then 18, then 23. So that's pretty sweet, huh? Cool patterns. And then 4 and 9 go together. So when a number ending in 5 is added to or subtracted from another number, the final digit, that means the number that comes last, of that number and of the answer is going to fit one of those patterns. It's going to be one of these patterns. These are the only patterns it can be because this counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to look for the final digit patterns in these problems as we do it, okay? So let's go ahead and do this. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, I haven't been trained in this. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. But that's okay. We're going to figure it out as we go. So let's start with this problem, 22 plus 5. What do you get with this problem? You get 27, right? So it's going to be 2 and 7, the 2 and the 7 pattern. Is that one of our patterns? Yeah, it is. Sweet. Check that out. What about when you subtract 22 minus 5? What do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be 17? And so you still have a 2 and a 7 pattern? Yes. Sweet. You can almost do these without even thinking very much. What about the 38 plus 5 and the 38 minus 5? It's going to be the 8 and the 3 pattern, right? So this number is going to either be a 3 at the end and something else, or it's going to be 8 at the end. But this is already an 8, so these have to be something 3, something 3. See if you can figure that out, okay? All right, let's move on to this one, 44 plus 5 and 44 minus 5. So this is going to be the pattern that is 4. What goes with 4? It was 4 and 9, right? So let's see if this ends with something that ends in a 9, and this is something that ends in a 9. We'll see if that pattern holds true, okay? So that's pretty cool. All right. Now, let's move on to learn about taxes. This kid is showing his dad his report card and he says, "Remember, Dad, those grades are after taxes." Okay, maybe he's trying to explain why his grades are not very good. All right, here's the new concept. The new concept is sales tax. So of course, when you go buy something, it has a price tag on it, and the price tag might say 99 cents or something like that. But the problem is when you go pay for it, the number that they want you to pay is higher than that. And that's because they have added sales tax to that number, right? So how much do they add for sales tax? Well, it depends on where you live. Sales tax is different in different cities and in different states. So in fact, I think in Alaska, there's like no sales tax at all. So anyway, that's the amount that goes to the government. The rest goes to the company that made the thing that you're buying. So this kid is saying, why do I need to pay sales tax when it wasn't on sale? So sales tax is included in everything that you buy, not just the things that are on sale, of course. Okay, let's jump into some of these examples, okay? This is example 1, and it says Yin bought 6 bolts. So bolts are like, I don't know, what are they? Like little pieces of, it's something you buy at the hardware store, right? It's kind of like a little screw or a nail, kind of like that. Anyway, Yin bought 6 bolts and they were 89 cents each. Okay, so she bought 6 of them for 89 cents. I'm gonna write that down here so I remember that because that seems like important information. Okay, the total sales tax was 32 cents. Okay, so she bought 6 things for 89 cents. That's going to give you some total that goes to the company that made the bolts. And then we're going to have to add to that 32 cents in sales tax. Okay, how much did Yin spend in all or altogether? All right, so how do we solve this problem? Well, first let's find the cost of the 6 bolts. And that's what I was doing here. And to find the cost of the 6 bolts, we're going to multiply 89 times 6. So let me get rid of this for now. And the way I like to do it is 89 cents. And we're going to just change this around times 6. Okay, now we've got a problem that we can do, right? 89 times 6. Now, you remember how to do these, right? We're going to do 6 times 9 first. So when you multiply 6 times 9, you get 54. See how I did that? Then we're going to multiply 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. And we have to remember to add the 5. So 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Okay, so then I write 53 down here. So what did we just figure out? The total cost of the bolts was 534 cents. Now you probably don't have 534 pennies sitting around, so let's just change that to dollars, and all you do is you move the decimal. So it's going to be $5.34 because that's how much 534 pennies would be. And so I just took the decimal from here and I moved it 2 places to change that from pennies to dollars. Okay, so now I know that the total cost of the bolts was 534 cents or $5.34, but we still have to pay the government. Ugh, government sure does take a bite, huh? So what we do to figure that out is it told us in the problem that the sales tax was 32 cents. Do we multiply? No, we don't multiply. We're just going to add 32 cents. So when you add 32 cents, you want to line up the decimals. In fact, I need to slide this over just a little bit, it looks like, so that all the numbers line up. And we're going to add it, and those decimals have to line up. So that's why I put a 0 there, because it's $0.32. All right, so when we add, we just do it, start with the ones, go to the tens, go to the hundreds, right? So let's start with the ones. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then let's go to the tens place. In this case, it's actually dimes. 3 plus 3 is 6. Let's just bring down that decimal and then add the dollars. 5 plus 0 is 5. So the total amount that she spent is $5.66. So that's interesting, huh? Because the bolts cost this much, $5.34. But the government asked for this much when you spent that. Cool, huh? Okay, so this is the total amount. I mean, it's not very cool, but it's cool that we can figure it out. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is example 2. And example 2 tells us a story about Pam. And it says that Pam bought a blouse, and the blouse was priced at $25. I don't think those little t-shirts would actually cost $25, but I mean, if they do, they're a little expensive for a t-shirt. I don't think I would pay that much. And then it tells us that the sales tax was 8 cents per dollar. Okay, so that's different. It's not a total of 8 cents. The sales tax is going to be 8 cents or 8 pennies for every dollar that you spend. So if it's $25, it's going to be 25 times 8 cents. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. So how much tax did Pam pay? So how do we figure this one out? Okay, the tax was 8 cents. 8 cents for every dollar, for every $1. And if she bought one blouse, then she spent $25. So what do we have to do? We have to multiply. It's going to be 25 times 8 cents. Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's do 25 times 8. I'm going to put it like that. And I'm just going to erase that and just remember that we're talking about cents here. And let's do this multiplication problem. So 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to put a 0 and a 4. Okay? Now I'm going to do 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. And we're going to add that 4. So it's going to be 16 plus 4 is 20. So that's 200 cents. Because we were talking about cents here, remember? So 200 cents is the same as how many dollars? Well, if you have 200 pennies, you'll have $2. So that's actually the answer to the question, because that's what they asked about. They asked how much sales tax that she paid, and the answer is $2. They could have asked how much did she pay total, and then you would have had to add $2 to the $25, which is the cost of the shirt. So the total amount she spent would have been $27, but they just wanted to know the sales tax in this example. Okay, cool. Now let's figure out how much change back we should be getting. Now this is super important, because if you pay someone like with a $20 bill, you want to make sure they give you the right amount of change back, because you don't want to let them make a mistake, because then you might not get all the money that you deserve. All right, so you have to know the total cost, including sales tax, and then you're going to have to figure out how much change you should get back. And to figure out how much change, you take the amount that you paid, let's write this down. Amount, I'll just shorten it, amount paid minus the total cost. And then if you do that problem, you'll figure out how much change you should get. So the amount paid minus the total cost is how much change you should get. All right, let's jump into example 3. Example 3 is about someone named Midge. Midge bought a pair of pants, so she needed some pants. and the pants cost $23.99. Okay, so that's the cost of the pants. So let's say you've got a pair of pants here. Here's the pants, and they have a price tag on them. The price tag is going to say $23.99. Okay, but that's not the cost you're going to pay at the register, right? You're going to pay $23.99 plus the sales tax. And that's going to be the total cost, right? Now it tells you in the problem, the sales tax was $1.56. Okay, all right, so I can put that here. $1.56. See what I'm doing over here? I've got the cost of the pants plus the sales tax, and that's going to be my total cost, or my TC. Okay. And then it says, Midge paid the clerk $40. How much change should she get back? All right, so this problem is interesting because you have to do 2 steps. So step 1 is to figure out the total cost. The total cost is how much the pants cost, which were $23.99. And then we add to that the sales tax, which was $1.56. Now, when I'm adding these together, notice I didn't write it very neatly, but I lined up the decimals. So there's nothing here. There's like a 0 there. Just pretend that there's a 0 there. And let's start by adding the pennies, okay? So 9 plus 6 is 15. Okay, and then let's do 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 1 is going to be 15 again. I'm going to bring that decimal down, and then I'm going to add the dollars. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Let's not forget to add that extra $1 up there. So we've got 5, another 5 here. Nothing to carry, and then we add the tens place. 2 plus 0 is just 2, so we can just bring that down. So the total cost of the pants was $25.55. Now, she paid with $40. So what do we do with that information? Well, she gave the clerk a $40 bill. If you subtract the total cost, the cost of the pants plus the sales tax, you are going to figure out how much change she's going to get. So the change is here, the answer to that, right? Sweet. Okay, so let's figure it out. We can do this. Now, this is a subtraction problem. So we have to subtract the pennies first. 0 minus 5, that doesn't work. We're going to have to borrow a 1. And we can't borrow from here because there's nothing to borrow. So we're going to have to change all of this. Let's borrow, excuse me, let's change this to a 3. That makes this a 10. We borrow from that, make it 9. That makes this a 10. We borrow from that, make it 9. That makes this a 10. Excuse me. Okay. Now, 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. Now, 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So, excuse me, I've got the coronavirus or something. Okay, so, just kidding. I was just kidding about that. Okay, so the amount that you should get back for change is $14.45. You could always check your answer. The way you would check it is if you add this plus this, you should get $40. Okay, but this is the answer. This is how much you should get back in change. Okay, sweet. Okay, that was a long lesson. Don't forget to stretch, and then you can go do your homework, okay? Love you, Danny. That was a hard one. Good luck. Bye.